Issue number 19 of the Mighty Morphin comic by Boom Studios begins with King Aradon trying to break down the force field over the site of the old command center. The force field is holding, but Matt wants to go there to take on King Aradon. Zordon and Grace, however, think that it's prudent to wait for the other Rangers. I know we're only on the second page, but what kind of a stupid idea is that? You know the Rangers have gone into space to look for a new command center. You don't actually know when they'll get one and be back. So what kind of a plan is waiting for the other Rangers? You're better off asking the Omega Rangers for help. It's stupidity like this one of the reasons why I'm glad to be quitting the Power Rangers series once Charge to 100 has concluded. Anyway, it doesn't matter what Zordon and Grace think, because Matt has already decided to go out there to face King Aradon. Rocky wants to join him, but Matt tells him he can't risk his secret identity, as it's one of Zordon's rules. As Matt heads out, Zordon tells him that he has his blessing now. Zordon thinks he's irrelevant, having made poor choices in the past. With Matt putting his life on the line, he is proving Zordon wrong. And now for the Rangers in space. This is basically Billy explaining the plan of attack to steal an Eltarian outpost. And I just think it's an incredibly silly scene. There's a reference to the Lion King, use of holograms which serve no real purpose, and Alpha going on this mission with disguises apparently. I know there have been lots of attempts at humour throughout the Power Rangers comics, mostly one-liners which aren't even funny. But I get the feeling that there are more of these unfunny lines now than there was before. Another reason why I'm not going to continue with these comics anymore. Matt steps outside of the force field, and within moments, King Aradon just fires a blast at Matt, knocking him back a little. So a fight breaks out between them. Finally, something interesting is happening. Unfortunately for Matt, he gets defeated by King Aradon. He's down on the ground with his back exposed, and it looks like King Aradon killed Matt, leaving Rocky to watch in horror. These 2 pages with little dialogue was more interesting than the other pages. And now we're back to the other Rangers. And that also means the silliness returns. In the original TV show, you could expect the Power Rangers to be responsible, safe, not taking unnecessary risks. Not here though, because we see Tommy and Aisha climbing a wall without safety. The other thing that's silly about the scene is that Aisha almost falls to her death, and Tommy just says they're having fun. Not really leadership material there. It gets worse. Tommy and Aisha then steal outfits from 2 alien guests at this gathering. Immediately after they've donned their clothes, an alien mistakes Aisha for an alien called Tiberia. Now, I don't know if Tiberia is the alien Aisha stole from, but if it is, again, this is just stupid. Aisha stole from a green-skinned alien. Aisha is not green, so how could such a mistake have been made? Tommy is talking to the target, Veyron. He's obviously making a mess of this undercover mission because Veyron is suspicious of him. He asks how Tommy got into the palace and where he comes from, but then Alpha arrives in a ridiculous disguise to draw attention away from Tommy. I'm just going to say it plainly, that's just awful. Back on Earth, Matt isn't dead. He's still fighting King Aradon. You have to wonder, why did the writer make it so dramatic earlier, making it look like Matt was about to die, and why Rocky looked horrified, when they're just continuing the battle? Rocky has a plan. It's to deactivate King Aradon because he's a machine. With that in mind, the Dragon Dagger is teleported away and then teleported back to Matt moments later, with an EMP device attached. Matt points the weapon at King Aradon and fires it, landing a direct hit. This, however, accomplished nothing. King Aradon says they are living automatons, so they can't simply be turned off like machines. Rocky decides he needs to go to help Matt out. Zordon doesn't care if Rocky's identity is exposed to his family. In fact, he has a new rule now. They shall never again lose another Ranger. And with that, Rocky tells the kids that he has to leave them because he's got something important to do. The issue ends with Rocky morphed and leaving the force field to fight King Aradon. So will Rocky's family learn the truth about Rocky? Possibly. Despite being rather negative throughout this video, I did actually enjoy some parts of the comic. I liked Matt's fight. It was the most interesting thing to happen in my opinion. The other Rangers in space bored me. Rocky behind the force field was more interesting. At least he was being sensible for the majority. I hope issue number 20 won't be as bad as this, but I have a feeling it will be.